the ones we've already picked, or the Walmarts, or if you want to do, like Lynn did the other day, did a sales educational training in Elizabeth. It went so well for them. But there are some good opportunities, so make sure you do that event basics. Because it does take about a week to show up once you do it. So if you decide not to do it till later on, and then you're kind of hitting on the wire of them seeing it through their portal. So that's a big thing. One off Medicare announcement is going to tell you that Transamerica just came out with their Trendsetter product, their term product, just came out with rate reductions. So I think the second time in a year or so. So if you're looking for any term products, the Transamerica was already pretty much the cheapest one. Now it's by far cheaper than any other product that's out there. So there is a rate reduction. There is one new Medicare supplement that's going to be coming out here shortly. And that's going to be Cigna Solutions. Yes.
The rate reduction, is that going to show up in the iGroup tools when you go do the search?
It should. Let me see when it was effective. I just read this. Yeah, the 25th of June, so.
3 days.
Okay. So
It should.
should automatically be in there.
Alright.
Yeah. It just happened. It's actually in the past. That's good. But that's good because if you're going to do any terms right now, it's not a lot cheaper, but it's cheaper is better than going up. So it doesn't matter either way. Come on in, Jim. Was that the overflow? Jim's in the overflow over there. Okay. All right. So that's the Transamerica. All right. Also starting on Friday. Friday is July 1st. July 1st, if you guys remember, we talked a lot about the Advocare plan before and the MMP plans, the passive enrollment. The passive enrollment is what this is talking about. I want you to have this into your folders, your binders, so you're going out and talking to somebody that's a dual, Medicare or Medicaid, and they need to know that here starting July 1st, in this area, they're going to be doing passive enrollments. This talks a little bit about the passive enrollment, what the wave 1 is, wave 2. If you go on to the second page, the very bottom starts wave 1 and wave 2. So if you see in wave 2, Allendale, Beaufort, Berkeley, Calhoun, Charleston, those are all areas that you know very well. That's as of Friday. Friday they're going to start passively enrolling them. What does that mean? That means if somebody's on Medicare or Medicaid and they don't have another plan, they just have a Part D, they're going to automatically enroll them into one plan that they think is best for them according to that area. So they're in Charleston County, and I don't know, his example, and they think Molina is the best plan for them, they will automatically enroll them into that Molina. What that will do is kick them off the Medicare drug plan that they're on, and automatically put them into that MMP plan. And so it doesn't give them much of a choice. If you talk to somebody that's in that dual plan right now, I let them know that. Because they're not aware of that, all of a sudden they're going to go use their drug card from SilverScript, United Healthcare, Humana, whatever they have, and it won't be any good because they'll be having enrolled into a new plan. And then they'll be getting letters out and everything saying they were enrolled into a new plan. Why? They won't read. Yeah, they won't read. But why is that good or bad? I mean, it may be, it could be a right fit for them. It may or may not. The thing is, they don't have a choice now. They're going to be automatically put into something. If they're already in a United Healthcare plan, they're not going to be passively enrolled. But, come on.
Is there a chance they'll be passively enrolled into United Healthcare?
No.
Nice.
Because they're not part of the MMP. They're not part of the movement. But they talk about that in this little thingy here.
We put them on care improvement then, is it a
United Healthcare.
United Healthcare, is it replacement or is it definition?
It's not, the MMP plans are not Medicare Advantage plans. So it should not be a replacement. I'm not positive on that, but it should not be. Because it's not a Medicare Advantage plan. It is considered like a Medicaid. It's just they're part of their Medicaid program. Yeah, so it is their Healthy Connections Prime or Medicaid or whatever you want to call it. For the new people that came in.
So did you say they were gonna replace United Healthcare?
No.
No, I never said that.
Just if they have Medicare and Medicaid.
And nothing.
And if they have a Part D. They have a Part D.
Again, just to just to clarify, if they're already in a Medicare Advantage plan with their Medicare and Medicaid, they will not be passively enrolled. Will not. Okay, will not be passively enrolled. If they are only on Medicare and Medicaid only, or Medicare and Medicaid with a Part D plan, they will be passively enrolled. Well, the whole goal is they want to get people out of just a Medicare and Medicaid into one of the plans that are insurance company type plan. So you got the VIP care, the absolute total care, and the Molina. And then Evercare got purchased by WellCare, so I'm guessing WellCare is going to be one of them too now. So those are the plans they would be enrolled in. What makes them different from the United Healthcare? Well, number one, just a choice. Just being automatically told, guess what? You know, tomorrow, let's say you had Blue Cross Blue Shield, and you're going to be told tomorrow, guess what? You're going to have Cigna now. And you not even have a choice. That's essentially what's being done. Also, most of those plans are HMO plans, and their networks are not nearly that big. You can go on their websites. You can go into Molina or Absolute Total Care and look at their networks. They're right in the front page of their website. You don't need to log in. So you can look and see what the networks are like. The United Healthcare is a PPO. So most of their benefits, if you remember looking at all the United Healthcare stuff, in and out of network are essentially the same benefits, except for a couple of benefits here or there. So again, it allows them more opportunity and more choices being in the PPO plan with United Healthcare versus the MMP plan. It does not mean that the MMP plan is not right for them. They may be into one that is great for them. There are some of them with zero co-pays on some of their drugs. So for some of them, it may be a good fit. But I've heard of more people disenrolling out of them than re-enrolling into them. So again, it's just a choice. Yes?
I was just going to ask, if we enrolled them in a Medicare Advantage plan, United Healthcare, would that be considered a half sale if they were already on the, let's say, the VIP Plus? That would be considered a half sale?
No, it should be a full sale. So the question was this over here, just a few minutes ago.
Sorry.
It wouldn't be a renewal?
MMP is part of Medicaid. It is not part of Medicare Advantage. So I think it would be a full, but I'm not 100% positive. They have to double check it because it's not. They won't see that in the system as Medicare Advantage.
Could we get a list of everybody else?
I'm not exactly correct on that. If somebody goes in and does one, let me know how you get paid.
Please give them our agent number, just all over the wall.
Yeah.
But if you do enroll them, wouldn't it automatically disenroll them from their indie other plan?
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a half sale.
Scott, I
Could be.
did one in Ridgeland. I got paid full. That replaced an absolute total care.
Really?
Okay.
Because it's however CMS is recognizing it.
The only reason I would think it may not be is just because it is not part of the Medicare Advantage program.
Right.
If you pull up Medicare Advantage and you go on the CMS, you go on to healthcare.gov, SSA.gov, and you go ahead and you do, or Medicare.gov, and you do a plan search, it's not going to come up with that. So that's the only reason I would think you get a full one, but I'm not 100% positive.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to that.
But you don't. But it does automatically disenroll them from their.
It does disenroll them.
Okay.
It's kind of like them. That's why I said whatever drug plan they have, they were going to disenroll from that.
Right.
And that's the biggest disruption about it is if somebody's on Medicare or Medicaid and it say it has SilverScript, because SilverScript is one of the Medicaid plans that are out there at no cost for people to have for a drug plan, and they're used to getting it from SilverScript, and they go to the pharmacy, let's say next month or August 1st, whenever they got disenrolled, and they go get their drugs, and they say, well, you don't have a drug plan anymore. You don't think that people are going to flip out a little bit on that?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well, who are they gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
There you go.
That was easy. That was easy. So that's the biggest thing. I just want to put this in your book so you have it, because somebody, they may think, well, how is that true or is it not true? Well, this is straight from Healthy Connections where they're enrolled in.
Straight from Nikki Haley.
Straight from Nikki Haley.
Says right on the
Hate that chick.
Call her up.
Yes. WellCare did buy Advocare. I don't know where they are in the process of changing over to WellCare, but WellCare did buy Advocare. No.
We don't.
So right now, Advocare is the only one that was hiring agents. And for this, all right guys, one conversation over here. Yeah, if you have a question, please speak up, instead of asking your neighbor, Matt.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay. I want to make sure that Jim had a pretty good question, said, can we get contracted with any of those plans? And as of right now, the MMP plans are not contracting agents. Evercare was the only one that was doing it, but Evercare now got, bought by WellCare. Does that mean WellCare may allow you at some point? Maybe. But I have not seen that yet. So, and I'm looking at all options. I mean, for ACA this year, I was even looking at, they've got one company now that the Christian organizations are actually paying commissions to sell for the Christian organizations. So there's always opportunities out there, but I want to make sure that whatever opportunities we get into, we don't run into the same issues we had like with Consumer's Choice. You guys know how much I did not like that in the beginning, but end up having to sell it, and the next thing you know, they go out of business. So we want to make sure that we're aligning with the right partners, but we want to have the best options that are out there. So.
Well, most of the time CIP is better than those anyways, aren't they? The majority of the ones that we run across.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much options right this second. I mean, like I said, in some instances, if somebody is pretty frail, that's 80-something years old, that may need some of the other services that Medicaid's going to help them with, okay, that may be an okay fit for them. But I've run into two of them that I helped them go back on United Healthcare because their doctors were not in the network. And you can just pull it right up, and their doctors weren't in the network. And if you read this, it says your doctors will have to accept it for the first 6 months of the plan. So if you're in the plan, their doctors have to accept it. It's considered in-network for the first 6 months. After the first 6 months, if their doctor has not contracted with them, it's not covered.
And they'll be.
So Medicaid people are getting medical bills, so
Yeah, Medicaid people
that was
get
overwhelming.
So if we have people that were Medicare, do we go back to them and try to switch them over, or are they still?
Again, you want to make sure that's in the best interest of your clients. And so, if somebody's in Evercare that you helped before, you may talk to them, hey, how's it working for you? Are things going well? Is your doctors all taking it? Are you having any problems? Did you know that got switched over by WellCare? I mean, there's certain things you can just find out from them. And if they're not happy, then yes, you can put United Healthcare. But if it's working well for them, there's no reason to switch. All right. That's essentially what I wanted to go over today, was getting ready for this Medicare stuff. We're going to have a lot of Medicare information coming out, and I don't want it to all get waited to the last second. I want you to have the information as it comes out. The second half, Cheryl and Matt are going to talk a little bit about the MAC system and some of a little bit of, I don't want to say shortcomings, but not as much information is getting put into the MAC system, and people are running across and having a little bit of a hard time. So, go ahead.
Thanks, Scott.
And Cheryl's too tired, so she can't do it anymore.
A couple of the things, guys, I want to go over with the MAC system. Of course, we've got the pool of people that we can go and see. And they're getting transferred back and forth. John's pulling them back. After a few weeks of not using them, you're done with them, whatnot. There's no notes. Some folks are getting phone calls, making the phone calls. Well, somebody just called me about that. I told them I wasn't interested. Or I talked to you guys last month, and that person's deceased. We have to be updating these. Have to be updating these when we're going through and calling them. Whether you're printing them out and calling them, making your notes and going back in later, or if you're just calling right off of the MAC system, it'll save you guys plus other agents in the office a lot of time if we just take a couple minutes and update the notes.
Part of the MAC system is data capturing. We're not capturing the data. When you are talking to somebody, you find out that they have signal. Put it in there. It just makes it easier, especially with MA season coming up, and you want to be able to review everybody's Medicare supplement as well as your Advantage plans, and you can't do it if you don't know what they have. It's starting from square one every single time. And yeah, it might be Barbara that's calling the person and capturing the data, and then she didn't change the tag from prospect to needs analysis or something so that she can hold on to it and it gets passed along. That's okay, because Barbara didn't want that person. Is never going to go see that person anyway. So it's okay, but we're partners here. Let's all work together. Put the information in there when you have it. I look at some of the notes when I do find it, some notes, And there's stuff in the notes that should be in the data capture portion. Like the person has diabetes, they have heart failure, something. If you put it in there, it'll make your lives a lot easier when you're
For all of
searching
us.
for it, for everybody, for yourself basically, because hopefully you are changing that status so that you can maintain that client view, that person for future reference. Tagging is another area. Tagging is used to identify a group of individuals, okay? In order to find those individuals, you can search by a tag. I've been using MA 2017 for anybody that I have to go back and see for open enrollment, and then I'm also using follow-up to follow up on October 1st. So on October 1st, I'm going to get a slew of emails saying, hey, call this person, call this person, call this person. And it's just going to set me up for open enrollment period, so I'm not constantly on the phone, you know, trying, you know, finding newer people. I already have them. Just go and see them. It's easy.
Does everybody in here know how to tag? I'll show you. It's a little box. You guys, you can make whatever the tag you want it to say. That's going to be a great way to get a list together for MA season. As busy as MA season is, if you start now, and everybody that you go see is not able to help you, but we'll come back and review that. Put your data capture information in there. Put the follow-up, like Cheryl said, it's going to email you the 1st of October when you can first start talking to all these people. Hey, I met with you back in July. I'd like to come back out and show you what's available for next year. You've already met with them. You told them you were going to be back. Now you're following up through. And instead of having to get a list from John or from your manager, you've already got a complete list. Hopefully should get you through the first month of open enrollment season.
I got a question. I thought, okay, so when you get them, they have prospect on it. I thought that when you didn't want them, you changed it to default.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, she was just using an
I
example.
was just saying that as an example.
Okay.
But if they're also prospects and they stay in there for a while, they're
Oh, that's
also going to get pulled back
They're
as
also
well.
going to get pulled back. I got a couple spots left. They're good rewrites.
No, it gets pulled back if you do default. You need to do a needs analysis, appointment set,
No, you know, if you tag it as a follow-up.
things like that. The one other thing, who else utilizing the birthday cards and the thank you cards for the clients? Anybody else in here? Guys, it takes you like 5 minutes max.
And yeah, it's $1.99 a card, but I actually...
$1.99 a card.
How do you pay for it?
You're gonna put your card information there.
And to find it, you just go into the search menu and search for like July birth month. And it will come up, and it's amazing. I actually got a referral off of sending out a birthday card. You know, I sent it to one person, and you know, her friend was there and said, well, that's awfully nice. And the woman was turning 65, and yeah, I'm going to see her Thursday. So it's kind of cool. It's really easy. It's not expensive. It's $1.99 a card. But if you think about, you know, all right, go buy a card. Gotta go to the post office and get stamps. Gotta lick the stamps. So, you know, by the time that you're done, you're spending over $2. Hire the kid to lick the stamps and envelopes for you.
But it's a great service, guys. It doesn't take a lot to do it, and the clients really do appreciate it. I know Matt Gowen says every Christmas he sits down and sends his cards out, and it just solidifies that you're not just the agent that's going to come in, write the MA, and they're never going to see you again. Never going to hear from you again.
And thank you cards. Thank you cards.
After you sell a
More
policy,
important.
after you sell a policy, send in those thank you cards. It just solidifies itself.
And I said it a million times, if they're really good people and they're nice people and you get along great with them and you friend them on Facebook, and if you message them and you post it on their wall, happy birthday, it's awesome.
It goes a long way. It goes a long way.
So, just some little pointers, guys, for the MAC system. I also have noticed a little bit that we're not adding our appointments into the calendar anymore. We're not doing that at all. Your managers still need that. That's our way to be able to see what you guys are doing out there. If there's areas that we need to help you guys in and things like that. So even though the cash box still is not here anymore, please continue to add your appointments into the MAC system. Go back in, update them, do your follow-ups and things like that. It's a great tool. It helps you guys as well.
Do we have a new incentive for the cash box?
As soon as
It's above
Mike
you,
and
man.
Dave get back.
Okay.
I tried to call Dave, but it was a
That's right,
Yeah.
that's right.
Okay,
So,
Cubicle.
You don't have to
any
pay
questions
rent.
on the MAX system? Something somebody's tried to do, can't get it done?
I'll just add a little tidbit. I found it works easier with different browsers. I try to use Firefox. It actually works pretty easy in Internet Explorer. If you have the newer one, then you can export CSV files and import into it a lot easier.
Chrome is the one that they have said works the best.
Yeah,
From-
I've used
from the-
Chrome, but
From the people up there that have designed
And
it.
it
Yeah,
depends
I
on
would
your
just throw that
computer,
in there.
actually.
Firefox I
Software
have
on
heard
your
has been a
computer.
problem, so.
yeah, if you guys use a different browser, just try, and you have issues with Macs, try a different browser. That's an easy fix.
Safari works great.
Well,
For all that, I
for all of those Apple products, Safari would be choice.
Have you merged two clients together?
It's the same
Two-
client that, John put one in and I put one in.
Click on both of them. Over on the right-hand side, merge contacts.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it'll ask you what information on the two do you want to keep.
Whatever's highlighted
Whatever's
is
highlighted
their
is what-
recommendation that you keep.
Okay.
Is what's going to show up on the new one.
Last week I'd asked for some leads and actually had, some of my clients were in there. I thought that wasn't supposed to happen. They were submitted, their policies were in
If
there.
you entered them into the MAX system after we did the initial upload, yes, you might see some of them. I know that you buy your own list sometimes,
Yeah.
and on those lists, there could be duplicates between the MAX system and what you're purchasing. So if what you purchased has a
It wasn't
person's
just a
name
name,
on
I had my
there.
files, their files, everything in there. It was
It
What
might
was-
be that you didn't have it, the status changed, it might have been at default, or...
The first, I do know the first wave of the pullbacks from what we had, from some of our older clients, we had in there as default
And they were pulled out.
or something like that, and they got automatically pulled back when that happened. So that did happen because the statuses were not updated, and I know they stopped there for a while and stopped pulling them back because of that, to allow people. So if you do have,
Our little angel that sits upstairs was actually telling people.
yeah, that's why, it's because they had it in. So make sure if you've got a policy in there and it's your client, make sure you change that status to client if it didn't automatically do that. That makes it stay with you.
For your pending reports through ASB, let's say you have a client that's declined for a North American or something else, how do you get that pulled off of your?
It should come off automatically, but it takes a while.
Is it the status of the pulled off, Scott?
Yeah, status.
If you go to status and
Decline it.
decline, withdraw, something like that, it should take it off the list.
But they're
But you don't want to do that if you end up rewriting a different policy because the original one was declined. You don't want to put that in your status.
Of course not, that's going to decline.
It will,
But when you
once
rewrite
you
another
rewrite
one,
it,
it'll
it'll
decline
come
again.
back in as submitted.
It'll go as submitted.
It'll come in as
Yeah.
submitted.
Yeah, once you rewrite
But
it.
Greg's question still stands. The original one that was declined is still going to be in your pending.
You can always bring it up to John and he'll make sure.
Or send an email to John.
Okay.
That's what I would do, is I would send an email if that happens, if you get duplicate cases and then one was declined, one was issued. Send it up to
You
John.
can't merge those.
It's all in.
It would be the same
Pending.
field, it would just, it's the application itself that is showing. Any other questions?
Anything else?
Alright, let's go. My team, if you can hold back for